Good evening. I would ask that you please stand while Stephen Fitzpatrick, the Vice President of the Class of 2021, recites the Pledge of Allegiance. After that, please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. At this time, I would ask Mr. John D. Jeffries from the Dover Select Board to please come forward to offer greetings to the class of 2021. Mr. Jeffries.
Good afternoon, everyone. Don't mean to contradict the principal. Superintendent Dr. Keogh, Assistant Superintendent Ms. McCoy, Principal Mr. Smith, Selectman Waldron, Regional Chair Maggie Sharon, faculty, administration, coaches and staff, honored guests, family, friends, graduates of the class of 2021. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of doing two things. First, to welcome you to Norris Orr Field. On behalf of the town of Dover, my fellow selectmen Robin Hunter and Bob Springett, I'm honored to welcome you. Second, to say thank you. Thank you to the members and all the parents who ran boards and clubs, from parent-teacher organizations, volunteers at the Snack Shack, after-school aides, to the members of DSCF and the boosters, to all the moms, dads, grandparents who helped coach these graduates from youth sports through high school, a sincere thank you for all your help in making this day possible. In a year unlike any other, we are fortunate to have your commitment to our students. So graduates, congratulations on behalf of your towns. Please enjoy this afternoon. Celebrate your accomplishments. Thank you very much.
I would now ask Mr. Jeffrey Waldron from the Sherborn Select Board to please come forward to offer greetings to the class of 2021. Mr. Waldron. Thank you, sir.
Great job. Welcome, everyone. Of course, from the Sherborn Select Board, I would very much like to congratulate you on a difficult year and a terrific class. So I just have a few words that I'd like to share tonight. As Mr. Bork's AP Gov class can tell us, Franklin Roosevelt was the 32nd president. And FDR had 3 simple rules for speech giving. Be sincere, be brief, and be seated. Unfortunately for you, I'm only following the first rule tonight. So I have a question for these graduates from your earlier academic career. Does anyone recognize this book? Anybody read this book at any time? So it's obviously The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and it was published, believe it or not, on exactly this date in 1969, 52 years ago. And it has only 224 words, but it sold 55 million copies. And you may know from the news that the author, Eric Carle, died last week at the age of 91, in fact, in Northampton, Massachusetts. So I want to share with you a few challenges that Mr. Carle faced in his life. He was born in Syracuse, New York, where as a boy, his father took him on many nature walks, hence the caterpillar. At the age of 6, his German family moved back to Stuttgart, Germany, where he was forced to start school over again. His father was then drafted into the German army and became a Russian prisoner, and he returned home a broken man from the war. Mr. Carle left for the U.S. in 1950 with only $40 in his pocket. He landed a graphic designer job soon after he got here with the New York Times. But he was very soon drafted in the U.S. Army and sent back to Germany. What's my point? Well, Eric Carle achieved great success in pursuing his passion, but to do so, he overcame enormous hardships in his life, beginning at the age of 6. You've endured some tremendous challenges in the last 15 months due to COVID-19, and I think you've learned some great lessons in adaptability and resilience, and I think this will benefit you in the long term. Now, one thing I want to point out on a positive note, that while the pandemic was certainly tragic, it's also causing the world to be ready for changes. Areas such as sustainability and climate change, diversity, equity, and inclusion, artificial intelligence, and the transformation of healthcare and wellness are pressing needs. So now it's your turn to lead, and we definitely need you. Finally, I want you to know that your voice matters. Never be afraid to speak up, because people that mind don't matter, and people that matter don't mind. So before I follow FDR's rules and be seated, I'd like to recognize 2 people. First, I really like to thank, I'm not sure she's here, Jill Fedor, the head nurse, for her tireless adaptation and leadership through pandemic. Is Jill here tonight? I don't see her anywhere. And last but not least, my dear friend, Dr. Andy Keogh, Superintendent, I'd like to thank you for your excellent leadership in our school system. So thanks for including me tonight.
At this time, I would ask Zoe Moumoutjis, the class of 2021 class president, to please come forward to welcome the class.
Hello and welcome all. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Smith and Miss Keegan for working so hard to hold this graduation. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. If you had told me a year ago that I would be standing on this stage having a traditional graduation, I would have thought you were crazy. Not even a global pandemic can stop this class from graduating. I'm so grateful that we are able to be here together, celebrating the end of this chapter in our lives. Graduation is a day that seems so far away, almost out of reach. But as I stand here, I wonder where all the time went. It seemed like only yesterday we were receiving our 8th grade diplomas, practicing for the real deal. The 4 years since then have been full of amazing memories, and there is no other group of people I would have rather shared them with. In honor of this being the end of our memories together, I would like to share some times in which the whole class of 2021 was involved. In freshman year, our wall for Spirit Day was made out of pictures that we all put together in a shared Google Drive folder. I remember how many of us showed up to put that wall together. It was the first time we worked together as a class in high school. Sophomore year, we had our first off-property dance at the Dover church. So many of us showed up. It was almost the entire grade. I remember it being such a fun and memorable night. Junior year, we attended the first of many Zoom classes to come, and that leads us to here, our graduation, the last event where we are all here together. The class of 2021 is a family, and as hard as it is to let go, it is time for us to fly the nest that is Dover-Sherborn High School. This class is destined to change the world. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the graduation of the class of 2021.
Thank you, Zoe. This year we have the honor of having 3 Declamation finalists who will speak to the class of 2021. Our first speaker is Miss Ashley Gong.
Hi, everyone. I first want to say that I'm so grateful that graduation can be in person, even if it is just a symbolic ceremony. Regaining a bit of normalcy after so much craziness this year is very refreshing. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand up here and say a bit of what is on my mind. Since I am at least slightly less clueless than I was 3 years ago, I'd like to share one of the most important things I've learned here at DS. As a solidly type A person, the ideas of progress and accomplishment have always been on my mind, definitely more often than they should be. To visualize such ideas, I would view my progress on a mental chart. The y-axis was the level of achievement, whether it be academic, musical, or something intangible like happiness, lack of stress, or just appearing to have a life beyond doing homework and playing the oboe. I was not very successful at that last bit. The x-axis was time, and then I'd plot my points of progress, tracing a graph that hopefully always looked up, but in reality had many dips and plateaus. And these descents were incredibly demoralizing. As someone who built up for herself a fear of complacency, of settling as less than perfect or the best I could be at all times, the feeling of losing progress, not progressing, or even just not progressing as fast as before was so uncomfortable. I felt like a failure before I even failed. And then I took calculus, and man, that was a hard class. But along with learning that I, sadly, am no math genius, I somehow learned what integrals are, the area underneath a curve, an accumulation over time. And then, feeling super smart now that I knew what the skinny S symbol meant, I went back to my mental graph of progress. Instead of looking at how high my points of achievement were, or even their rate of change, what I've since learned is called the derivative, I integrated, and I noticed how the accumulation of area was always positive. Even in the longest plateaus and the lowest ruts, the area is growing, and so am I. Every point I deemed a failure or a deviation from perfection only meant that more progress would come in the future. Granted, the irrational fear of complacency wasn't going to disappear overnight. But this paradigm shift has helped me accept the natural ebbing and flowing of life without the pressure of immediate or constant success. So, what's the bottom line of my pretending to understand calculus? Perhaps a cliche, that perfection as a concept is overrated and unattainable. But here's my take. The word perfection comes from the Latin verb meaning to complete. And what human being is complete at our age? After all, the mere thought that high school would be the peak of life is, not going to lie, a little terrifying to me. Actually, I'm so thankful for how these 4 years have made me into a much more patient person. I no longer fear the wasting of potential because with every passing day, potential only grows with experience. Our lives are so much more than just a series of checkpoints. And as I finally stop talking, I hope all of you listening to me right now can take a moment to reflect on how far you have come and how much you have grown, even in the smallest or slowest pockets of life. Thank you to everyone who has helped me even begin to realize this lesson. And thank you all here today for humoring me in this very rudimentary and admittedly kind of nerdy attempt at self-actualization. If you remember anything from these 3 minutes, remember to integrate. Or better yet, just throw away that mental coordinate plane altogether. Thank you.
Our next declamation speaker will be Miss Sophia Katz.
Good evening, everyone. 4 years ago, we were all getting ready to go on the DC trip. We were excited and naive, and our biggest problem was trying to figure out which couples were going to come out of the boat cruise. Here we are 4 years later, mature for the most part, grown up, and aware that not a single one of those boat cruise couples would actually last. The last year and a half has truly shaped us as a class. We become more flexible, more resilient, and unfortunately more isolated. This has taught us to truly value our peers, our families, our teachers, and our future. Today, as we stand on the edge between our past and our future, let's take a moment to thank those around us before we begin to forge our own path. Thank you to each and every parent for believing in us even when we had lost faith in ourselves. We are especially grateful for your support last spring when you were suddenly burdened with a bored, grumpy, Zoom-fatigued teenager with nothing to do for weeks on end. When you imagined your child's graduation and their senior year, I really doubt this is what you pictured, with masks often covering up your sweetheart's adorable smile, and you often being so distant that you can't even tell which kid is yours. But I promise, today's the day that you'll get that perfect picture that you can use to brag about your kid on Facebook. Speaking of dealing with grumpy teenagers, I must thank the teachers as well. Your dedication to teaching us through a global pandemic has not gone unnoticed. For your students, you have learned to navigate Google Classroom, teach through a screen, and you have even finally figured out how to make YouTube videos full screen. For the last 4 years, you have been the friendly faces who greet us every day and send us along our way. With any luck, having made our day better, almost always having added an hour of homework to our afternoon. Thank you to Mr. Smith, Ms. Keegan, and the entire administration. We will not soon forget your friendly faces greeting us every morning and trying desperately to keep us from hitting one another in the parking lot after school. Your leadership and flexibility have allowed us to have as normal a senior year as possible, even if it was filled with math, pool testing, and the occasional yell of 6 feet apart from Mrs. Keegan. I know many of the seniors, myself included, have enjoyed the ability to leave campus during our DRs and lunch. And I have a feeling the Medfield Starbucks and Blue Moon would thank you for that flexibility as well. However, I don't think that we will ever forgive you for taking away our free Wednesdays this year. And lastly, thank you to my classmates. In the last 4 years, we have truly made our mark on the high school. We contributed one of the largest groups of DS National Honor Society members, won a number of impressive athletic championships and titles, including basketball and field hockey state championships, put on great plays and musicals, even over Zoom, and, as far as I know, we're the only class to ever make it through junior spring completely virtual. Granted, it was pass-fail, but I'm impressed with us nonetheless. We should be proud of everything we have accomplished individually and everything we've made it through as a class. To each and every one of my classmates, thank you. I'm honored that I got the chance to learn alongside you, and I can't wait to see what we all accomplish next. I want to leave you with one more thing before I go. It's a rhyme I came up with a couple years ago that I think really represents how we're all feeling right about now. We are the class of 2021, and we are finally done. Thank you.
Our final declamation speaker is Miss Sabrina Ryan.
Hello. Sorry, I'm a little taller, so. When I was first introduced to the idea of a graduation speech, my immediate thought was, someone else will do it. I mean, what could I really write about to keep everyone's interest? I did not want to write something unrelatable, but I also did not want to do the basic "we made it" speech that I'm sure is given every year. But by the way, we did make it. As I thought some more about such a speech, I decided to maybe give it a try. So I opened up a document and wrote down my header in classic Dover-Sherborn English department fashion. Now, the way we are taught to write headers requires our name first, then date, subject, and so on and so forth. So before people know what you have written, before they know your stance, and before they even know the date, they know your name. This might not sound too significant, but think about it. When you hear someone's name, does an image or idea not pop into your head? It's only human nature. So when I thought about a graduation speech, I knew that before I would speak, people would hear my name and immediately have assumptions and opinions flooding into their minds. Hopefully, some of these were good ones. Now, these feelings that are associated with our names are stored in the dictionary of our minds. Every name in this dictionary is given a definition, but it is written differently according to each of the people we have met. For example, the Sabrina that my friends know might spur a different definition than the Sabrina that my teachers know. While it might be scary to think about the images and definitions that envelop your name, high school has taught me that this is nothing to fear, but rather something to control, because we are the ones who determine how our names are perceived. When I started my freshman year at DS, I tried out for field hockey. I never really thought I was going to be of any significance to the team, as I could not hit the ball for the life of me, yet still I continued. The following year I tried out again, not expecting much, but keeping a good attitude about it. On the second day of tryouts, I noticed the varsity head coach was approaching in my direction. It was then that I knew my field hockey career would be over and I was going to be the first ever player cut on the second day of tryouts. As I prepared for the sorrowful thanks but no thanks speech, Coach J surprised me and instead asked if I would try out as goalie. She said I had just the right amount of sass, and she thought I could make a great leader from the back of the field. Admittingly, being 5'10" was definitely not working against me here. I could have easily denied the position, the pressure, and all the big ugly gear that comes with it, but instead I ran with it. I decided I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be the one my team could look to. Coach J had a definition of my name written in her book, and I wanted to live up to it. Because of this, I joined clinics and took private lessons to make myself the best I could be. By my junior year season, I was the starting goalie of our Massachusetts state championship winning team. It was pretty epic. I could have become the Sabrina that stepped away, but instead I took control and morphed myself into the name I wanted to become. Here, I evolved into one of the many definitions of Sabrina, but I have also learned that I can evolve away from these definitions too. As many of you know, my dad teaches at this school. And while I love my dad, he would be the first to tell you that despite sharing the same last name, we are not the same. But when I came into this school, I was really only known as being Steve Ryan's daughter. I was not Sabrina. Yet. I could have allowed the preconceived notions of who I was define me, but instead I wanted to create a new name for myself. My junior year, I had my dad as a teacher. It was probably easy for the other students to think that I would only succeed because I was the teacher's daughter, so I strived to prove them wrong. My dad held extra help sessions early in the mornings before school started and before the school start time changed, so we are talking early. Because of this, most students would not go, as it was pretty ridiculous to expect any teenager to get up before 7 a.m. However, I would go. Sometimes I was alone, sometimes there were a couple other people in there with me, but regardless, I was there. While it would have been much easier to simply meet with my dad on my own time to ask him questions, I wanted my peers to know that it was a level playing field, and I wanted my peers to know who I am. Yes, I was the teacher's daughter, but I was also Sabrina, a student like anyone else in that class, and a student who was going to work hard to be successful. I'm sure people had their assumptions about me at the start of the year, but I made sure that when it came down to it, I was the one writing out the definition of my name. The beauty in the experience of evolving into one definition of my name and evolving away from another is that I was the one determining who I am and who I want to be. Like making a mistake on a test, people can mistake you for someone you are not, but that is not where you give up and accept the F, but instead you pick up your eraser and rewrite your definition. As we embark on this next chapter of our lives outside of high school, we will be continuously writing out new definitions of our names. Wherever we go, college or not, we will be introduced to a new population of people who do not know our names. So, my advice is to take the pencil into your own hands and write your definition the way you want it to be written, because ultimately, we are in control of who we are.
Each year, a senior female and male are chosen to receive the Lonergan Award. The Lonergan Award is sponsored by the Dover-Sherborn PTO, and it's presented in honor of former high school headmaster Denise Lonergan, who served the DS community for 33 years, with 13 years as the headmaster of this high school. Recipients of this prestigious award are active in the school community, in good academic standing, and they possess the following qualities: altruism, character, diligence, integrity, and loyalty. I would now ask the following two students to come forward and to receive this honor. I'm pleased to announce this year's recipients of the Lonergan Award are Merritt Smith Sullivan and Shane Spencer Williams. Good evening, parents, guardians, school and town officials, faculty, family, friends, and of course, members of the class of 2021. As your principal, I have the honor of presenting the class of 2021. So much work goes into making our commencement exercises a special evening for our students and their families. I first want to give a heartfelt thank you to many, including the following. Thank you to each one of our custodians and our ground staff, members of the athletic department, and the numerous faculty for preparing the Norris Searle Field for tonight's wonderful celebration. Thank you to Elliot Lucille for organizing our graduation rehearsal and seating and always keeping us laughing. Finally, a huge thanks to Miss Tracy D. Flaminio, the unsung hero of this entire ceremony. She is my administrative assistant, and I want to thank her for her countless hours in preparation for this community event. Tracy, thank you very much. This evening, we celebrate the Dover-Sherborn commencement. A new beginning awaits after a challenging stretch of time. The light at the end of a dark global pandemic is here, and that light shines brightly for each one of you. Over the next few months, you will meet a lot of new people from all over the country and all over the world. For some of you, this will be challenging at times, but overall, it will be so exciting. You will begin a new chapter as young adults with so many opportunities to learn and grow as a human being. The past 15 months have taught you to be resilient and strong. You have faced adversity, but you have succeeded. Your parents and guardians have raised intelligent and compassionate people, and you will make your mark in our society. Your teachers have provided you with the skills to tackle an ever-changing world. Class of 2021, you are ready for this new journey. I offer my heartfelt thanks for all you did for our school community over these past 4 years, and I wish you good health and success. Congratulations, class of 2021. Dr. Keogh, I present to you the class of 2021. They have each satisfied the rigorous standards set forth by the policies of our school district. They are more than ready to receive their diplomas. Dr. Keogh, would you please come forward to accept the class of 2021?
Mr. Smith, members of the Regional School Committee, Dover Select Chair, Mr. Jeffries, Sherborn Selectman, Mr. Waldron, faculty members, parents and invited guests, and most importantly, class of 2021, welcome to these commencement exercises. It's a special privilege to be standing before you this evening, in person, unmasked, fully vaccinated, and not having experienced any extreme coughing, fever, or flu-like symptoms in the past 48 hours. As I'm sure you all know, there were many times this year when we doubted we would be able to hold an in-person graduation. With all the challenges brought on by the coronavirus, it just seemed very unlikely. And yet, here we are. This is thanks in large part to the hard work and behind-the-scenes lobbying of your principal and his variable assistant, Ms. Ann Deaver-Keegan. Please join me in thanking them for their unyielding commitment to your class and to the overall health and well-being of Dover-Sherborn. Our being here today is also thanks to the collaborative efforts of our two boards of health, who guided our footsteps throughout the pandemic and shared their professional wisdom freely in the most trying of conditions. They've been amazing and were a big part of the reason we were able to stay safe this year, so I want to thank them as well. Likewise, we mustn't forget your teachers, who've delivered for you in ways that no one could have ever imagined, whether it was in flipping regularly from in-person to remote instruction, grappling with new technology on the fly, teaching from their homes, or trying to hold engaging lessons with 15 blacked out squares and a few tired faces for 80-minute blocks via Zoom. They went above and beyond for your benefit, and they deserve all of our thanks for stepping up this year, so thank you. As I grow older and begin to spend more time reflecting on my years in education, I'm sure I will always remember your class as the one that heard no a lot. How about a boat cruise? No. Complete sports seasons? Nope. Travel abroad? No, sir. Tournament games in front of hundreds of adoring fans? Sorry, not possible. Night football games? I don't think so. Performances on the stage of the Allen Mudge Auditorium or anywhere inside the school for that matter? No way, too risky. You guys didn't even get snow days this year because of the pandemic. Actually, that was on me. Sorry about that. Seriously though, your class was robbed, and it wasn't fair, and there was nothing anyone could do about it, including your parents. And believe me, they tried. The impact of the virus was too strong, and we had no choice but to accept it and carry on. And you know what I say after so many years as a school leader, striving to build perseverance and resilience in students? Good. You'll be better for it. No, I haven't lost it. I don't want to sound insensitive at all. I fully appreciate the horrors brought on by the pandemic and grieve, like all of us, for the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lives lost in the U.S. and abroad. The pain inflicted by the experiences of the past 15 months can never be fully measured and will surely have a lasting effect. But I also believe with all my heart that it's through hardship, rejection, and specifically not getting our way that we become stronger, more resilient, and more complete human beings. It is often through tragedy and deprivation that we come to appreciate what really matters in life. Things like family, health, friendships, and the ability to spend time with others. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to lose things in order to truly value them. No, class of 2021, you did not get your way these past 14 months, but you survived a planet-altering event. You didn't wilt. You're not crumbling like people often say young people will under pressure, and you're not walking out of here with your shoulders slouched. You've proven that you're strong, you're durable, you're adaptable, you're more patient than many of us thought, you're more aware of those who are less fortunate because you've seen so much more hardship than most generations. In fact, if I could for one moment contradict my friend and colleague from Wellesley High School, David McCullough, who once told the graduates there in a speech that went viral and became the basis for a very popular book that they were, quote, not special, I'd say that you actually are. You've been tempered like steel by the fire of a pandemic, and you will forever be changed and considered unique. I'm extremely proud of you, class of 2021. You've exceeded our highest expectations and have proven that you are indeed prepared for the many challenges of life that await you. It's a great honor to be walking by your side as we venture into the next phase of our lives. I hope you enjoy the journey. Congratulations again. Mr. Smith, I formally accept the class of 2021 and invite you to proceed with the distribution of diplomas.
At this time, I would ask Maggie Sharon, Chair of the Regional School Committee, along with Dr. Keogh and Assistant Superintendent Elizabeth McCoy, to please come forward to confer the diplomas for the class of 2021.
Zoe Eleni Moumoutjis. Stephen Fitzpatrick. John Patrick Phillips. Angel Lynn. Matthew William Chahaki. Lydia Stone. Lena Truong. Shane Spencer Williams. Ryan Lily Acker. Ethan Pascal Aliyah. William Nicholas Anastasopoulos. Michael Edmund Mado. Luke Rodman Bangert. Oh, shoot. Adelie Bartnett Atwood. Benjamin James Leonard Bejoyan. Samuel Billings. Virginia Helen Borth. Sarah Jocelyn Bragdon. Carolyn Winlock Breckling. Aiden James Britt. Caitlin Therese Britt. Ryan Thomas Britt. Mackenzie Jean Buckley. Charles Edwin Budd. Sophia Angelia Bolotsky. Jackson Pierce James Carolyn. Standish Garrison Carruthers. Ann Quinn Carson. Russell Eli Mayer Seal. Avery Ellen Charneski. Evan Elizabeth Charneski. Benjamin Chittick. Benjamin Faulkner Cherney. Ryan Thomas Clark. Timothy Marcel Cofield. Simon Morris Conlow. Ronan Clark Connolly.
Well done.
George Thomas Connors. Kara Rebecca Crowley. John Joseph Daly.
Jack, it's been a pleasure.
Anna Catherine Davis. Patrice Kelly Davis.
Well done, Patrice.
Benjamin Robert Dennison. Sierra Devine. Timothy James Dillon.
Well done, Tim. Thank you.
Piper Jensen Evans. Andrew Franchi Federico.
Oliver Reese Ferrari. Alexandra Joan Filandrianos. Evan James Filandrianos. Samantha Ford. Calliope Julia Frankel. Isabella Visca Garrett. Marigold Angelina Garrett. William Donovan Gately. Michael Samuel Gatt. James Patrick Gibbons. Penelope Delphine Geeson. Michael John Gillio. Wyatt Jonathan Goldfisher. Ethan Herbert Goldman. Ashley Gong. Mingjing Gong. Emma Jane Goodness. Anisha Gorha. Val Gorha. Caroline Eleanor Gray. Pierce William Gregory. Bennett Graham Gridley. Jackson Alexander Griebel. Noah James Guarini. Ananya Gupta. Megan Adele Hanlon. Maureen Michelle Haswell. Sophie Ann Hatfield. Thomas Michael Higgins. Amelia Marie Hodson Walker. Collins Eloisa Imade. Noah Jack Jaffe. Aiden Barrett Johnson. Ava Claire Kaplan. Elijah Powers Kaplan. Sophia Francesca Katz. Sana Rahman Khan. Ingrid Darren Kinder. Thomas Desmond King. Kavya Kumar. Thomas Lyndon Lambert. Logan Hanlon Lancaster. Rachel Hannah Lipsky.
Kevin Bohan Liu. Grace Marion Luther. Ramon Enrico Lutazzi. Jacqueline Jean McDonald. Ada Fisher Che McLeod. Aaliyah Maker. Lily Helen Makas. Kate Elizabeth Mastrobono. Camille Colette McLaughlin. Evan James McManus. Taylor Maylee Melanovsky. Fabian Mizrumbai Granda. Cameron Sharam Mogadam. Thomas Emilio Montella. Avery Claire Moore. Oliver Pena Morgans. Marie Rose Murray. Ayush Narayanan. Gabrielle Joan Neutra. Abigail Ruth Neat. Amelia Quinn Novich. Caitlin Ann O'Connell. Emilio Bernard Oliva. Anne Marie Orcutt. Annie Wallace Parizeau. Ford Sanford Pegram. Victor Vanelinoff Peklevinov. Bethany Summer Peterson. Bradley Owen Peterson. Jordan Elizabeth Pfeiffer. Dan Carl Pomahawk. Amelia Elaine Poor. Kyle Stone Pucci. William Kernan Quinn. Nicholas Robert Baran Rinaldi. Joshua Levine Rooney. William John Rooney. Isabella de Assis Rosa. Sabrina Hart Ryan. Francis Xavier Sacco.
Noah Beardsley Sampson. Kenya Einan Sanders. Nolan Jacob Sayer. Nathaniel Schraft Schultz. Lucy Nightingale Schwartz. James Parker Shannon. Joshua Shen. Hope Martha Shu. Evan D. Skiri. Shane Ariel Sklar. Olivia Jane Smith. Amy Zit McLean Stephen. Reese Edward Wiemeyer. Ella Marie Sullivan. Merritt Smith Sullivan. Peter Alexandru Summers. Diego Pichai Ufre Swadipong. Macy Adele Tanaka. Kaylee Ann Taylor. Benjamin Cole Teach. Lily Rosemarie Thompson. Lena Rose Cerides. Nicholas Ryan Turk. Christoph Robert Van Riet. Sarah Elizabeth Vaughn. Ashley Isabel Versailles. Greg Elliott Vigneault. Alexander James Wallace. Kendall Collins Walsh. Edward Daylin Wang. Benjamin Wyatt Wayne. Catherine Glennon Whittle. Luke Clarence Weiss. Layla Ikene Worth. William John Worth. Jack Thomas Worcester. Stephen Ijuan Zia. Catherine Elizabeth Young. Stephanie Vivian Yu.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask Zoe Moumoutjis to please come forward for the final recognition of the class of 2021.
I present to you the class of 2021.
Stack it up. Alex, you probably want to go with your family. Okay. So can somebody take the bass drum for Alex?